This is FYI on your TV, brought to you by Hometown News. I'm Kathy Botham. I have got Pat Kerr with me. You're all the way from Kingston today, Pat?
Beautiful downtown Kingston, Kathy.
Beautiful downtown Kingston, but you are originally from our beautiful downtown Perth.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Perth, and I grew up in Stanleyville, just between Perth and Westport. So
Okay.
that's where home is for me.
Awesome, awesome. Now you are doing an event coming up, and it's all based on your little girl, your daughter Hannah.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
let's talk about Hannah and why you're doing this.
Oh boy, Hannah. Well, that story starts back in February. I'm in the military, and I was deployed to Latvia, part of the NATO mission there. And my wife was at home pregnant with our first child on the way. And everything was going good. It was a normal pregnancy up until the end of February. And it was a Monday morning over there, Sunday night over here. And I got a phone call saying I had to call my wife. So I called my wife, and it turns out she was in what they call HELP syndrome. So it's an acronym, HELLP. It stands for hemolysis, elevated liver enzymes, and low platelet count. And it's kind of a rare offshoot of preeclampsia, which is kind of rare to begin with as well. So it's this little known kind of illness. And the only way to stop the HELP syndrome is to deliver the baby. So at that point, my wife was 26 weeks and 2 days. And they gave her some medication to help speed along the development of the baby. And it kind of gave her like an artificial inflation of some numbers. So they kind of rode that wave, and they had two teams, so a team for mom and a team for the baby. And when mom started to get too sick, that's when they were going to make the call to deliver the baby. So they did that 4 days later on February 25th. I did it just like this. I was part of the delivery from Latvia via Skype in the OR, or in the delivery room, and then I was repatriated back to Canada the next day. I flew a civilian flight from Latvia back to Toronto, and then I had to spend 14 days in quarantine. So yeah.
Wow, wow. Yeah, so Hannah was born just a little over halfway, half term.
Oh, yeah, we had just started. Like, it depends on which chart you look at, but it was either like the start of the third trimester or like just the very end of the second. So she was really small. She stopped developing because HELP syndrome has to do a little bit with the placenta, and she stopped developing around like 24-ish weeks. So she was really tiny. She was 1 pound, 12 ounces, or 790 grams. And then she dropped down a little bit post-birth to around 700 grams. So she was a tiny little one.
Wow. And I mean, when you think of a pound of butter, like she was not even two of those.
Yep, not even 2 pounds of meat, right?
Right.
It was, she was very tiny. We have photos up on the GoFundMe, and she's wearing my wedding band on her wrist as a bracelet, and that was at 2 weeks.
Wow.
So she was even smaller than that when she was born.
So she spent 110 days in the NICU at Kingston.
Yeah, she did. And we didn't, living in Kingston, we didn't even know about the NICU. We knew there was a NICU, but we didn't know a lot about it. And during the initial conversations that we had with the team there, we asked, well, CHEO or sick kids? Where is she going? That was the question we had. We have family in Ottawa, so we thought we'll send her to CHEO if we have to go to CHEO. And the residents there were like, no, we can handle everything here. We're a level 3 NICU. And that was surprising to us, but also very beneficial because we only live like 10 minutes from the hospital. So they took her in, and she spent 110 days in the NICU. She wasn't there the longest that we were there. There was another set of twins that were there 126 days during our time there. That we there's kind of like 3 levels of parents in the NICU. You get the ones that are in there for like less than a week, and then ones that are in there for like less than a month, and then like the longer hauler ones. So you start to kind of get to know the longer hauler ones because you're in there basically all the time with them, kind of thing, right? So
right.
there's some babies that spend quite a long time in the NICU.
That's right. That's right. And how's Hannah doing now?
She's great. She's a happy, crying, loving, smiling baby. She's doing so great. We really lucked out with the way everything went down. There were so many other complications that could have arose that we see in the NICU with healthy term babies that were coming in there. And outside of the fact that she was really small, and she has a little bit of premature lung disease, which is kind of like asthma, which they hope she'll grow out of, she's doing great. She's got me wrapped around her little fingers already from what mom says.
Oh, daddy's little girl.
Absolutely.
That's right. Sure. That's right. So now you are doing an event to support the NICU. that helped Hannah and your wife as well.
That all started on my quarantine. When I got back into Canada, I had to spend 14 days in the home alone. My wife was still in the hospital, and then she went and stayed at a friend's during that time. But something to keep me busy, I was going to do the 4x4x48 challenge, which is 4 miles run every 4 hours for 48 hours. And I did it at home here on the treadmill. I talked to my wife. There was a fundraising portion of it, and we thought, hey, let's do some fundraising and give back to the NICU. Was the whole idea. So we didn't know what to set as a goal. We set it as $2,000, and we hit that pretty quickly, and then we bumped it up to, I think, 3 and then 5, and we're just trying to raise as much as we can for the NICU. And my wife was talking to the nurses because she was able to go to the hospital at that point. And they're like, well, did you tell the foundation that you wanted the money to go to to the NICU? So I sent an email, and they were like, do you want it to the webcam project? And I hadn't heard of the webcam project. I had no idea what the webcam project was, but I was like, sure, absolutely, that makes sense. And then they touched base with us, and they were in the process of trying to acquire 27 medical grade webcams to put in the isolette, so parents, when they were away, could log in via secure portal like we're doing right now and see their baby in the NICU in their isolette doing their thing. And normally parents can spend as much time as they would like or able to in the NICU. With COVID, hours were greatly reduced, and parents were only getting a handful of hours every day at home, able to call but not able to see, right? So we thought this would be a great project to get behind, and we started fundraising. And I had finished that 48 challenge, and I thought, well, let's set another challenge that I can do, down the road in the future, something to work towards. And that's where the 110 kilometers, 1 kilometer for every day she was in the NICU came about. And I didn't expect it to be 110, but here we are. So it kind of worked out.
So you are with the military, and what you're doing is, it's called rucking?
Yeah, it's basically walking with a backpack, a heavy backpack. It depends on a lot of different things, but you just throw it on and walk. That's really all it comes down to. So we do a lot of races in the military where a rucking portion is part of it. So it just kind of fit. It's something different. It's a little more challenging than just walking, but it's different than running. So it's something in the middle there.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's going to be a workout either way, for sure, for sure. So
it is for sure.
You and a friend, Kevin Fournier, are doing this?
Yeah, my friend Kevin, we swore in and joined the military at the same time. We were together at the same ceremony. We went off to basic together in Saint Jean, and we were in the same platoon for a little while, and then he's a different trade than I am, so he went off to do some training. I went off to do some training, and then we both got posted back here to Kingston. He's got a 9-month-old son. So we're just it just all kind of fell together. We're at 2 different units, but we're both on the base here, and we just thought, I was doing this by myself, and then he said, hey, do you want someone to talk to along the way, which is super handy. And I said, yeah, if you're up for it, and he is, so we're planning on doing it together.
Awesome. So on September 25th, it's a Saturday, you're going to be leaving at 5 o'clock in the morning, the Great War Memorial Hospital where you were born.
Yes.
And walking all the way to the NICU.
Back in 85, that's where I was born. And we're doing like a little lap around Perth, and then heading right down County Road 1 to Lombardy, and then up Highway 15 all the way to Kingston, down to and through to Kingston to the hospital in Kingston. So there is a specific route, but that's basically the gist of it. It's Highway 15 from Lombardy right through to Highway 2 in Kingston. So.
All right. So how do people donate to this?
We have a GoFundMe page going on right now. If you want to check it out, all you have to do is go to GoFundMe.com, search Hellping with 2 L's, and then Hannah, Hannah, and that'll take you right to our page there. It has all the information, all the stories, everything that we raise is going directly to the NICU. Nothing is going to the family, nothing's going anywhere else. It goes right to the University Hospital Kingston Foundation, which is designated for the NICU. So we're currently at $31,456 raised so far, and it's been humbling. Like we didn't know where to start, where we just started like, let's raise some money, and it's taken off. And you know what, if we can help out other families down the road, because all of this stuff that we've done, the webcams aren't in place yet, but they're going to help future families. and whatnot. And the thing with the NICU in Kingston is it serves a huge area. We had families in from Smiths Falls, in from Perth, in from Brockville, in from Belleville, Trenton, Campbellford. Like, they bring babies in from all over. So it's not just a Kingston-centric thing. It's very much in Eastern Ontario. Either you go to CHEO or you go to the Kingston Health Sciences Center. So it's very fortunate that we have a level 3 NICU here in Kingston, and we just want to support them. So that's kind of what we're doing.
It's like you said earlier too, Pat, that you knew it was there, but
in the back of my mind, I knew
it was there. But I mean, people have got to be aware that it's such a good. I like to say, like, it's like almost an insurance policy for people who you might need it, but people do need it.
Yeah, and I had I knew I had a friend that had a preemie, and I didn't think anything of it. When this all started, I reached out to her, and she's like, well, if they're going to, she was in Brockville, and she's like, well, if they're going to Kingston, staff there is great, the NICU there is great, and she kind of walked me through it. Then once that kind of came out, I was surprised the amount of friends that I had that had babies that had spent time in a NICU somewhere along the line, whether it was for a handful of days or for a month or whatever. They get used surprisingly more than you think until you're having a baby. So
right. Now we said before we went on air that you had been deployed. You were in Latvia, and you knew you would be away when Hannah was born full term, but you weren't expecting this at all. But you're watching all this, like you and I are talking right now. How did that make you feel? My goodness.
It was terrifying. It was a lot of like long days. I was lucky, because I'm in communications, the building I worked in, we had Wi-Fi, so I was able to stay there basically 24/7. My chain of command was super supportive, and they just I worked during the day and was there overnight because there was an 8-hour time difference. So we were I was dealing with that. So at least at night during the daytime here, I was able to be in contact, and I was able to basically Skype into all the meetings and was actually part of the care and the discussions, though I really didn't have much I could do. We kind of took the doctors, what they were saying, and went with it. And it worked out. It worked out well. Mom's doing well. HELLP syndrome within 2 weeks was gone, and all those symptoms were gone, which were great. And again, Hannah's doing fantastic after those 110 days in the NICU. So,
well, we thank you for being in Latvia, serving your country, and I thank goodness for you too. I'm so glad you had some support with you while you were there, watching all this happen too to your family.
For sure. It was. I want to say I was in shock for a lot of it. It didn't seem like it was just you had a plan laid out. Like you said, we had a doula, we had a midwife. Baby was born in May. I'd be home a month later. Yada yada yada, and then just all those plans went out the window. But we've had a great support from our family and the community. COVID made it quite difficult, but everyone's been there for us, which has been great. So we just wanted to give back.
Well, we need to be there for you too. So again, how do people get a hold of you to be able to donate?
Yeah, you can look us up on social media. We're under Rucking Nuts, because that's what we are. We're Rucking Nuts for doing this. And we're on Instagram and on Facebook, or just go to Gofundme again and search Operation Hellping Hannah, and you'll find it there. So a couple of options. And if you want to donate directly to the foundation, there's also links on our Gofundme to link to donate directly to the foundation, not through the Gofundme. So there's a number of ways you can do it.
All right. So once again, can you tell us the date that Hannah was born and the date she was due?
She was born February 25th at noon here, or 12:09 here, 7:09 Latvian time. I remember that. And then she was actually due on May 28th. Wow. So she was 3 months early. She just passed her 6 month / 3 months. So when you're a preemie, you have an actual age and a corrected age. So there's about a 3 month difference between those two. So wow.
And she's doing well.
It'll be her 7 months when we launch the walk, because she was born on the 25th and we'll be starting on the 25th. So excellent. So you're leaving on September 25th from the Great War Memorial Hospital, 5:00 in the morning. You're hoping to be in Kingston by 5:00 that night? Oh no! This is a 2-dayer. So we're camping out at Home Hardware the night before in Perth. We've got an RV. The RV will bound from point to point along. We have a bunch of checkpoints along the highway. They'll have our supplies and stuff like that if we need to stop or anything. We're hoping to get up towards Morton, Rockdunder, maybe Highway 32 on Highway 15 in the first day, and then the second day we'll carry on. It's just some logistics and some safety concerns walking on Highway 15 at night. We decided that once it starts to get low light, we're just gonna pull the plug for the day and start up the next day. So
oh, absolutely, just, yes. Well, that sounds better. I misunderstood then. I thought that was. I
wanted to go the full 23 hours it was going to take, but my wife talked me out of it, just saying that yep. It's a lot safer and maybe a little more visibility. So we'll take both. People will see us with our rucksacks. We've got our rucksacks with our information on them and everything there. You'll see us walking on the highway. So.
Awesome. Well, good luck with everything, Pat. Thank you again for
so much,
serving
Kathy.
Our country, and say hello to Hannah for us.
I will. She's having her nap right now, but she'll be up soon, and we'll definitely say hi.
Awesome. Thank you very much for joining us, Pat.